Yep. What is water and who are the captains? Wait, lowercase NEM 0. Okay. And then who? Oh, yeah, yeah. For sure. And send it in captains, right? Oh, okay. Do what? I need to back out of the water. Okay. I'm out now. I can send it now. And then who? Bubbly Reaper, I guess, is the other person. So.
Since you left, I give my breath to cigarettes. Since you left, I try my best to forget. I can't escape the love we made that follows me. I can't escape from your love. And I've been rolling the dice with Aphrodite, spending my nights without you beside me, throwing some darts in bars with the queen of hearts, queen of hearts. And I've been drinking with Cupid, thinking of you, babe, thinking of you, babe. Oh, how can I be so stupid, fighting and losing, fighting and losing. Oh,
Can you feel the fire in your soul? Left me in this mess, I'm falling. Heaven knows. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are at opening day of Season 8. I'm so excited to get this thing rolling with you lovely people, and joining me here tonight to spearhead the evening is the lovely director, Rockerman. How you doing?
Psycho, I am doing fantastic. I'm always excited to be back here for some Nemesis action, and Season 8, it's finally here. I know a lot of people were waiting for it. They're waiting all off season, getting things ready. And man, Psycho, I am so excited to be back. It's always good to have another season of Nemesis. A lot of great people, biggest season ever, back with a $1,500 prize pool. And yeah, it's gonna be hype. And quickly, I gotta give a shout out to Dukes for the resub for 10 months, coming back here supporting Nemesis for 10 months. So appreciate that. And yeah, it's great to be back, Psycho. I'm happy.
Yeah, I am excited as well. Shout out to Dukes. Hats off to you, sir. Thank you for your support. And also, thank you to the Titan players that showed up here tonight. Yes, you heard it. We are starting off in the Titan League. We have Grandmasters versus Phoenix, and they are ready to get going, Rocker, man. They are already starting to join up and get out of the lobby. But this, I think, is going to be a spicy matchup here. We've got the Grandmasters, two of their returning players, Bubbly Reaper and Golf, longtime friends, been playing this game together for a while, got some really good chemistry. And then they added Moifin to the mix, who is a veteran here in the Nemesis Gaming League himself. He's come a long way from the Prospect League and earned a spot on, I think, what's going to be a pretty strong roster here, Rocker Man. They showed off their talents in our opening tournament yesterday and walked away with the W.
Yeah, I mean, that was an impressive performance by them to come through and kind of show everyone, hey, we're here to play, we're here to win, and they did just that there, Psycho. So I'm excited to see what they have to offer. We saw how they fared against some other teams, but now, Psycho, it's really time to see how they are going to fare against some other Titan League teams. Most it'll be the Phoenix, who are making their first ever appearance on the Nemesis stream. So they've got a lot to prove here. New team from last season, new expansion org in the Titan League, but first time on stream here, coming out on opening day in Season 8. So they have a lot to prove, and I think everyone's ready to go, Psycho. So I think we're gonna get them joined up, and we're gonna get things underway.
Sounds good to me. I am ready myself. Ladies and gentlemen, the best of 5 series between the Grandmasters and Phoenix. As we get into this kickoff, Moifin gonna start things off, putting a shot on net. Xenix back to make the stop. Xenix out of the corner, following up. Bubbly Reaper to take it away from him, puts one on net, but yours gonna shut it down. Goff keeping the pressure alive. Miles with the clear. Moifin in the midfields, back to Miles, down to Yor with the redirect. He's gonna sink it past Bubbly Reaper and start things off. Phoenix now up by 1.
Yeah, and that is how you do it right there. Look at your with that redirect. That is one way to start things off here, Psycho, for Season 8. The first goal of the season, and it is a great redirect from our great player, Yor, who many times in the past was on Gravity. People recognize him with Yor, Goff, and Dylan. So Yor and Goff gonna have a little bit of a rivalry here. Good friends and former teammates going at it, and Yor, he's gonna get the first laugh.
He certainly will. He's got the leg up. Goff now a little bit behind. Xenix with the ball, gets the flip reset. Can't muster much of anything. Yor with the shot. Goff gonna get in front of it. Goff gonna get the clear as well. Bubbly misses the ball, but gets the bump on Miles. Goff to put it across the line. Moifin with the follow. Gonna get a demo instead of the ball. Goff with the 50 in the corner. Goff following it up. But Yor to send it away. With a minute gone now so far from this matchup, I'm seeing some pretty high octane stuff here. Still, Grandmasters trailing by 1, but they are certainly chomping at the bit here, Rocker Man. They are generating quite a good offensive push, but the Phoenix are holding strong defensively.
Yeah, they really are. And, for me, Psycho, we talked about them, taking home that opening tournament. They were playing under the name the Grand Balders in the Season 8 opening tournament. But, I'm curious to see how they fared. They won that tournament, but, we don't have a lot of those teams, like the chemistry that you'll see in Titan League, not saying they didn't play good teams, but they didn't necessarily play all Titan caliber players in that one. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt. But we did know from that tournament that they are going to get their shots up. And, that's the good thing about seeing that tournament, Psycho, is we get a little insight into these Grandmasters, know they're going to put up the shots, and we'll see if they can translate it into some offense here.
Most certainly. And we saw in that opening tournament as well how good this team is going to be at pass plays. They're constantly looking for each other and finding each other open in the midfield, as we just saw. Once again there, another pass play coming out. Goff with a heater shot. Xenix going to make the stop in on the goal line. And this Phoenix roster is almost unstoppable defensively. They just scored 1 early on, and they've been holding things down ever since, not allowing Grandmasters to get through. Moifin putting it off the backboard, gonna leave it, going for the bump on Yor. Miles gonna miss his touch in the midfield. Bubbly Reaper's up, get the 50. Moifin putting one low. Xenix is down for it, picks up the Savior medal. Xenix with the shot's gonna go a little bit high. Moifin almost putting that in, but it bounces off a crossbar. Miles can't get an accurate shot. Xenix to put one down, but it's weak. Bubbly Reaper gonna easily clear that one away. Miles in the midfield, putting it off the backboard. This could be dangerous. Yours there, and nobody from Grandmasters able to make the stop.
Yeah, no one's quite ready here as Miles throws it off the backboard, and Bubbly just really thought Moifin was going to get the touch. I mean, that should be Bubbly's ball all day there. He had the momentum going the other way, and just a miscommunication it looked like there between Moifin and Bubbly and Yor. He's got 2 goals to his name. That is an excellent way to start out the season. Obviously, possibly some opening stream jitters here, but not for Yor, who's an experienced member in Nemesis, been in the playoffs numerous times, and so is Goff, as he's going to bang one in, and the Grandmasters find their first goal of Season 8.
And they've been trying all night so far, all game, I should say, and they're going to finally find it. A good pass coming out, and a nice shot. Looked like the bump came out from Moifin there to help free up the lane a little bit. And that is exactly what the Grandmasters needed. They've still got a little under 2 minutes, but that's plenty of time in Rocket League to make a comeback, especially when it's only 1 goal. We'll see if they're able to do it. Xenix out of the corner, gets the pinch off the backboard, trying to find a pass to the mid, but it gets cleared away. Miles bounces it off his corner. Moifin's there to challenge him. You're going to take control. Gets it past Bubbly Reaper. He's awkward, though, loses possession. And Goff coming out of the corner, sending it out to the mid. Moifin's there, but Miles beats him to the punch, gets to that ball. Yor to send that one back out to the mid. Goff gonna try his hand at some offensive pressure. Can't get the flip reset. Moifin in the corner. Xenix to send it out to the mid. Bubbly Reaper gonna cut it off. It gets pinched back. Moifin's there, but the shot's gonna bounce off of Miles' car with 45 seconds left on the clock. Goff with the shot that's gonna bounce off the post. That's not what you want to see, Rocker Man. They needed to sink that shot.
Oh my goodness, it was a great opportunity. Bubbly's harassing the player in net, and Goff just has to place it on target, but a little bit off there. And that one could be the one that they are going to want back here to start off their season. But with under 30 seconds left and an opportunity here, the net is wide open. But Goff, he backflips off the wall, and chaos again. Goff, he scored the only goal, but struggling now as we're down to the final seconds here, Psycho.
And will the Grandmasters be able to do it here? Goff with a weak shot on net. Miles takes it away. Bubbly Reaper off the backboard. I should see somebody up. Goff is there, but he can't get a good shot on net. Xenix gonna send it away. Goff looking for somebody. Bubbly Reaper not able to make it to the ball in time as it drops. Phoenix are gonna be your victors in game number 1. They only need 2 more to take home the dub here tonight.
Oh my goodness, like that one too. It was so chaotic at the end. You thought for sure that the Grandmasters were going to score, but Goff, he's going to tell you that he made some mistakes that he doesn't normally make, and he is going to want a couple of those shots back, a couple of those passes back. I mean, there were quite a few times where the net was wide open, and all they had to do was get it there, and they just couldn't. Grandmasters, they led in the shot department there, 10-5, more than double, but Phoenix. Man, Psycho, they held on, and they showed up here on the back of Yor, and that is one way to start out the season with only returning 1 player from last season. Miles, the only one coming back, and trying to make something happen here with Xenix, who's traded away from Godfathers. So still working out the the early season kinks a little bit, but they got a game 1 to win, and now they're looking to keep it rolling and see if they can win it in game 2.
And I think they've got a good strategy so far. I think they know that they've got a really solid defense. 8 saves in that first game that came out from the Phoenix roster. All they have to do is score before the Grandmasters score, which that was a close one. And then they lock down the Grandmasters with their defense, and it's pretty much an easy W from them. We'll see if the Grandmasters are able to counter this defense moving into game number 2. They got close. Xenix with a heater on net, but Moifin getting in front of it just in time, pinching it with the crossbar and sending that ball out. Goff with the long ball, trying to get a counter attack. It's not going to go. Xenix sends that one away. Goff in the midfield. Bubbly Reaper with the shot. The double coming out from Phoenix, but Goff not able to get to the ball in time to take a shot and take advantage of that situation. And we're seeing that quite a bit here, Rocker Man. A lot of dropped opportunities, from the Grandmasters in the first game, and they might be following the same pattern here in game number 2.
Yeah, it's just missed opportunities, it seems like. But, Psycho, I will have to say, for the Grandmasters, on the bright side of this, they're getting the opportunities. It's about converting. If they keep getting these opportunities, eventually, they're Titan players. They're not just going to miss every single shot. Well, they may, but I would reckon to say they probably won't here. So keep giving them opportunities, and eventually the Grandmasters are going to find one of these in the back of the net. But they've got to be careful. If they keep missing these opportunities, Phoenix are going to counter like they did in the last game, like they're trying to do here, and they might just be able to get one. Here comes Miles for the shot. It's going to go in. Miles sneaks it home, and the Phoenix take a 1-0 lead in game 2.
And my heart is heavy for Goff. He put his life and soul on the line there. Almost got the back-to-back save, and the physics just not working in his favor. And that ball is going to sink through. Miles with a nice shot. And the Grandmasters are going to again be behind in game number 2. Will they see a similar game that they as they did in game 1, where all the Phoenix has to do now is just shut them down with a heavy defense? A long ball coming out. Xenix going to get there, get back in time, makes the stop. You're going to get beat out by Goff. Goff following it, popping it up. Miles is there, though, going to get control of the ball and go with a carry. Bubbly Reaper going to crash into him in 50. This could be dangerous. Yours popping it up. Goff going to get in front of it. Xenix with the shot. Bubbly Reaper back in time, makes a heck of a save on the goal line. And then the ball gets cleared away. Moifin with the counter attack. catching Reapers sleeping. Excuse me, not Reapers, Phoenix. I keep wanting to say Reapers.
Yeah, I think Miles may physically be sleeping over there in the corner, and it looks like he may have lost connection, but
Oh no.
they're appearing to play on. Maybe it's a controller DC. Unfortunate way to give up a goal there, but it looks like he's back, so I'm not sure what happened, but Grandmasters, they are going to take that. I mean, they're not going to complain, and we'll play on 1-1. Grandmasters now maybe have some momentum in their favor. Finally seeing one, good one get on the board here, able to tie things up.
Yes, it is certainly what they needed, regardless of the circumstances. And they're going to see if they can roll with it. Moifin again with a shot from the left side, but Miles able to get back in time, just in the nick of time, in fact, to make that save. Miles 50 and with Moifin in the corner. Yor is there for the touch. Yor is going to make the dunk in the midfield. Bubbly Reaper missing the ball. Oh my goodness, disaster for the Grandmaster.
Yeah, it's just uncharacteristic. I mean, Bubbly Reaper just misses the ball. I don't know what to say, Psycho. I mean, the Grandmasters, that there was a couple times with Goff and now with Bubbly. I mean, these are people that we know are a pillar of consistency in the Titan League. I mean, you don't see him missing the ball like that. I mean, pretty much at all here. And well, he's going to redeem himself. So we'll stop talking about it. Let's talk about this goal. It's Bubbly Reaper. He's going to tie things up.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's how you have to do it. Whenever you make a mistake like that, you have to do that. So good job, Bubbly Reaper. Instant redemption, and just so next play, minute 40 left on the clock, and we are at a tie ball game here. Game number 2. Phoenix up by 1 in the series. If Grandmasters are able to take this win, they will tie the series up, and we'll move into game number 3. Yor with the touch. Can't get it through the Grandmaster's defense. The double coming out from Phoenix. Bubbly Reaper with the long ball. Moifin's there to get the redirect. Yor with a huge save. Moifin putting it back in front of the net, but nobody else from Grandmasters up to take that ball and do anything with it. And wow, Rocker Man, that was quite an interesting play.
I'm loving the saves I'm seeing, Psycho, right now. These teams are put on saves. Oh my goodness, the flip reset from Xenix, the 2K man, putting it in. What a play to take the lead.
And the demo that comes out from Yor on Bubbly Reaper, opening up the net for Xenix to just absolutely peak all over the Grandmasters. What a play from Phoenix. 54 seconds left on the clock. They take the lead 3-2. In game number 2, Miles putting it down. Goff in the midfield. Yor going to try and stick with it. Tries to go for the 50, but gets the demo on Moifin instead. The ball rolling down the corner. Miles taking control. Gets it past Bubbly Reaper with the pinch. He's going to follow it into the corner of the Grandmasters. Can't get it through Moifin. Xenix pops it up. Trying to follow it. Goff going to send it down. Moifin in the midfield. Gets it past Yor up to Goff. The pass play. And the shot coming out. Grandmaster's going to tie us up once again.
This is what we saw in that opening tournament. Moifin beating the defender and Goff. Just some high cheese right there into the top of the net. A great shot from him. And now we're right back at a 3-3 ball game. It's anyone's game, and the next goal is probably going to win it here. So these two teams know how crucial it's going to be in the final 20 seconds.
Quite possibly. Miles with a good 50 that almost turned into a shot. Grandmaster's going to shut that down early in their defensive zone. Moifin to follow it. Xenix beats him, trying to find Yor. He finds him, but Goff is there in the midfield with the pop-up. Miles just putting it down. We are now in overtime of game number 2, and this is looking extremely spicy, Rocker Man.
It is, and this is our first overtime of Season 8 here. Who is going to come out victorious? It's such a crucial one here on opening day. As if Phoenix can pull this off, they're going to be 1 win away from starting off the season of 1-0. The Grandmasters got to tie this one up here. Going to need something big here. Got to cut down on the mistakes if they're going to want to take this game back and give them a chance to tie things up.
And who will be the first to score, the Grandmasters or Phoenix? They play out this overtime. Bubbly Reaper in the midfield, trying to go for the dunk, not able to get it. Miles up to Yor, finding Miles again. The bounce off the sidewall. Moifin is there to make the defensive play, going for the carry off the backboard, gets it past one in the midfield. Yor making the touch. Goff is there for the 50. pinches out back to Bubbly Reaper in Grandmaster's defensive zone. Xenix gets the flip reset past Moifin, but Bubbly Reaper back, making an easy save. Tries to get it through Miles. Miles with the low 50. Yor beats out the Grandmasters. And Xenix off the backboard. Moifin is there, pops it up off the ceiling with the carry to clear that one out. Over a minute now into this OT. And it's hard to say, Rocker Man. I wouldn't say either of these teams have a clear edge at this point. They both seem to be playing quite conservatively.
And they really are, both looking for their opportunities here, and just kind of take it slow, seeing what the other teams presenting them. There's a couple of opportunities here and there. This is Xenix looking for some flip resets, and Bubbly, he was looking for his demos, which he's known for. So one of those plays could be the decider here. Bubbly could find another demo, open some space up, or maybe a shooter here. Oh. It's off the backboard. Here comes Bubbly looking for a shot, but it's not going to go. And 2 minutes gone by in overtime. These two teams putting some pressure on each other right now.
Yes, they certainly are. It seems like the Grandmasters are having a little bit more offensive pressure than Phoenix, but we know that Phoenix doesn't need offensive pressure per se. They seem to be quite deadly when they get an opportunity for a goal. They're almost certainly going to convert it. And Goff in the midfield with the pop past Yor off the backboard. Bubbly Reaper looking for the doink. Moifin trying to finish it off, but Miles stays strong and keeps the ball out. Xenix with the low 50 gets it through. Goff popping it past Bubbly Reaper. Moifin's there for the shot, looking for the double, and he's gonna land that one and take the win for Grandmasters in game number 2.
All right, Moifin, I see you out here. Put it off the backboard, put it in the back of the net. What a play to tie the series up, and that's exactly what you need here for the Grandmasters. Moifin filling in for Bagels, who went non-playing this season, and that is a performance for sure. There are 2 goals, leading the team with 600 score. Impressive for Moifin, and the Grandmasters are going to tie this series up.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, he did lead with 600, but if you look at the rest of the scoreboard, it's so close. All 6 of these players are just, I'm not going to say peaking, but they are performing quite well right now. They're all playing seamlessly. I mean, their rotations are so good. Both of these teams are having such good defense, such good offense. This is, I mean, there's not much more could honestly ask for the opening game of season 8, man. This is spectacular.
Yeah, they're doing great so far, and if things keep up the way they're going, Psycho, we could be in for possibly the first game 5 of the season, and we'll have to see though, as Phoenix now in this one gonna have to try to bounce back as we'll yeah, we'll get a restart here for them. Looks a little bit technical difficulties, but yeah, Phoenix are gonna have to try to bounce back, Psycho, and honestly though, even though they're going to have to try to bounce back, they still played well in the last game. It went to overtime. It went the distance. And you could argue the reason they didn't win that game is because Miles just, I don't know, up and DC'd for a second there. And that's how the Grandmasters got that 1 goal. But, they're still playing solid. So really, I think it's anyone's game heading into game 3 here.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's true. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe Miles just didn't think that Moifin had the angle that he had, or like you said, maybe he just DC'd for a second or something. Who knows? But I think Grandmasters could easily take the win off of Phoenix tonight, just as easily as Phoenix could take the win off of the Grandmasters. Both of these teams are playing really good. It seems like Phoenix doesn't need quite as much offensive pressure as the Grandmasters need. They seem to sink their shots a little bit more consistently, so I would count them the more deadly of these 2 teams. But certainly, if you give Grandmasters a space, if you allow them to beat up your backboard, or if you allow them to find each other on the infield pass, they're going to make a mockery of your defense.
Yeah, they definitely will, and I mean, we talked about it briefly, Moifin being the only player returning, but that means that these players have some chemistry between Bubbly and Goff, and speaking of chemistry, Miles is going to put it in, and Xenix going to set it up here, throwing it right down. Yor almost slots that one through, but Miles, the great finish there, hit in the open net, and Phoenix take the lead, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys right now. The Phoenix, Psycho, they look like they got some chemistry down here. And I mean, this is the first match of the season 8 for everybody, and they are just putting shots on net and putting them in. You're coming back with a second, and that's only 16 seconds into this game, Psycho.
Yes, sir. Moifin with a mistouch there in the corner. Unfortunate for the Grandmasters, as Yor is just going to capitalize off of that. And I mean, I think a little bit of luck had to be involved there as he hit not only the crossbar, but the post, and it still bounced in for him. But hey, he's going to take that. Phoenix is going to take that. And now they're up by 2 with just barely 30 seconds gone. Game number 3. This is not the position that the Grandmasters want to be in. This is a crucial game for them, especially if they were to lose it, as it will put Phoenix at match point for the series. Bubbly Reaper in his own defensive zone, off of the ceiling, getting a little touch there, down to Moifin with a heater of a shot. I couldn't tell. That looked like a bit of a pinch, but Miles gonna get in front of it. Goff trying to find it. Bubbly Reaper 50 and trying to find a shot. Moifin taking his time, but he's gonna get bumped off by Miles. Xenix with the shot. Moifin found a way through the bump to get that save. Oh my goodness. I mean, I've been complimenting Rockerman, the defense of Phoenix, all night, but the Grandmasters have been doing a spectacular job themselves.
So many amazing plays, Psycho. We're only 2.5 games into this series, and there have been more defensive plays than you see in a lot of series. And this one going off the post, almost finding its way through. But really, these two teams putting on some defensive showing, and I am thoroughly impressed. Loving what I'm seeing here. As a great pass comes down, it's a shot coming in. Yor finds another. The man cannot stop scoring here as it's 3-0 Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix starting to run away with this. Xenix, what kind of voodoo touch was that? The man just somehow redirected that ball perfectly, and Yor was able to get in there and put that ball in. That was a crazy touch from Xenix, as you would expect from a 2000 MMR player, possibly higher than that. We just capped the players off at 2000. Miles gonna try and get a block on Goff there. Xenix gonna end up taking it away. Moifin with the bump in the midfield, leaving it open for Bubbly to find Goff. Goff with the shot just a little bit too high, and Moifin gonna get the 50. Yor's there for the 50 with Bubbly Reaper in favor of Yor. Goff with the touch, sending it back to the corner. Goff again off of the backboard. 2 touches, trying to get the ball cleared out. Bubbly Reaper gonna help him, sending it off the backboard. Yor pops it up. This could be dangerous. Moifin's there, but he can't get the dunk to go in. Bubbly Reaper with the pinch off the ceiling, off the backboard, down to Yor, who pops it up, taking control out of his corner. Moifin come in and smack that ball, trying to keep the pressure alive for Grandmasters. As we've seen all night, Rockerman, the Grandmasters have to generate a lot of offense. They have to put in a lot of work to get this Phoenix roster out of its rotations and allow themselves the opportunity to score.
Yeah, and they've been able to do it so far in the first 2 games, but this game here, Psycho, they really haven't done much of anything. I mean, there have been a couple opportunities in the zone, but really, Phoenix have been solid here as Grandmasters. They were trying to make an attempt, but I don't know what's missing. I think they're missing a couple of demos. We saw a lot of demos coming up from Bubbly, and here comes Yor again. Oh my goodness, Yor making a return to Nemesis, and he is putting his name back on everyone's radar as Miles sauces it up. Yor sniping it through, and oh my goodness, Psycho, I am so impressed by Yor here. The return, the goals, it's 4-0 Phoenix. They want this series. They want to turn their season around from last season. They got a new GM here in Smegalodon, and they are putting on a show here, showing everyone, hey, the Phoenix, it's a new season. We may have been a little bit down bad last season, but this season we are here to play.
Yes, sir. You're pulling off the Hattie on opening game of season 8. You know that's got to be sign that he is going to have a peak season. And with Moifin with the long ball, and I could not tell what just happened. Did Bubbly save that?
I think he did. I think, yeah, he definitely just saved that ball. that is very unfortunate. But hey, when you're down 4-0 here with 1:10 left, sometimes Psycho, he was doing what I asked of him. I said we need to see some demos from Bubbly. He was trying to get a demo. Well, that one was not a demo. It goes back the other way. Miles puts it in, who is performing well. Miles has also been around Nemesis for a long time. Oh my goodness, Phoenix looking for the flip reset. But Miles, been around in Nemesis for a while, played on the Phoenix last season here, and he's back in this season. And we didn't get to see the Phoenix at all on stream. This is their stream debut in Nemesis. Even though they were a team last season, they didn't get on stream at all. But Miles is impressing me as well here, and a solid performer. And Phoenix looking like they're going to take the 2-1 series lead here, barring the biggest comeback I've ever seen here. 5 goals in under 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, possible, not probable type situation as we roll into the final 30 seconds. Moifin still trying to look for a play. Can't get the flick past Miles. Bubbly Reaper to take it back into his own corner. Bubbly Reaper off the backboard. Gonna stick with it. He's got a little space. 50s with your Goff sending it off to the side. Moifin is up. Bubbly Reaper looked like he might have been going for an own goal there, but Miles gonna help him out, get his own hat trick. It's kind of a wash for the Grandmasters at this point, so I don't blame him for just jacking around a little bit, trying to get moved on to game number 4. You gotta just put this type of game behind you, Rocker Man.
Yeah, they've got it here. They got to just, chalk this game up as, hey, it happens sometimes. You let them get away, and then, once they got to the 4 goals, the Grandmaster just kind of tried to sell out for everything. So, it happens sometimes. You got to put it behind you. But the Phoenix, in their case, they got to be loving. They got to be loving what they're seeing. A great performance. I mean, Yor and Miles putting in 3 goals each, and you get Xenix. I mean, I know, you can't score in every game, but you arguably, on paper, who should be the best guy on the team, he hasn't even put any goals in, and he wins 6-0. So they've got to be very happy here, and they are one game win away, Seiko, from their first win of the season, and they could start out 1-0 if they can pull it off here.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would love to make that happen. But the Grandmasters, they got to put it in. They got to put it in the next gear, put it in 5th gear, if you will. And moving into game number 4, they absolutely cannot drop this game. Phoenix sitting at match point. They take the dub here in game number 4. Then they send Grandmasters home. But will that happen, or will the Grandmasters force a game 5? We get into this kickoff. Miles off the sidewall. Moifin in the mid. Goff is there. 50s with Yor. It's popped up. Moifin's there. Sends it down to Goff, but he gets bumped off the ball. Miles looking at an open net, and yes, he is going to convert that. 15 seconds in before Phoenix take the lead.
Yeah, the Grandmaster just selling out here in game 4, just trying to make some magic happen, and that is about the worst way it could have gone for the Grandmasters. As another start to this game, and Phoenix come out with a quick goal again about 15 seconds in, and the Grandmasters, they've got to recover here. They can't let this get too far away from here. If Phoenix get one more goal, things are going to be very scary here. So Grandmasters got to consolidate, and they got to do it quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Goff with the touch out down to the mid. Miles is there, up to Yor. Yor trying to get it past one, gets a bump on Bubbly. Goff to pop it up. Xenix in the midfield, gonna take control. Trying to get a little bit of a fake around Moifin, or it looked like maybe a block or 50 on him. Goff off the backboard sends it down. Xenix up to Yor, back to Xenix. The play's gonna end there as Moifin takes control on his backboard. Moifin gets the flip reset past one in the midfield. Bubbly Reaper's there, up to Moifin. No, Yor gonna get his hand in there and put a stop to the play. Goff in the backfield, and it seems the Grandmasters, Rockerman, just kind of let that one get through. Little mistake, but they seem to have zipped that up and sealed up their defense. They're doing a lot better now.
Yeah, they are doing a lot better, and hopefully for their sake they can transition it back into their offense that they've had as they've been trying. They've been getting quite a few shots here in this game, Psycho. They got to keep it going, and hopefully one of them will find the back of the net and give them a good opportunity. Because that's what we saw they did so well in the first 2 games, Psycho. It was their recipe to success is keep getting those shots. Play solid defense, keep getting the shots. And here comes Xenix looking for a shot of his own, but it's not going to go. The Grandmasters, they got to keep it going, stay solid on the defense, and I think eventually one of these shots is going to find its way through.
And we'll see if that is the case, or if Phoenix are going to take this 1-point lead and sit on it. Goff with a shot that's going to bounce off of the crossbar, narrowly miss. Another opportunity. Oh my goodness, Bubbly Reaper coming up from behind, steals the ball from a waiting Xenix and passes it back to Moifin for a beautiful shot.
Oh my goodness, that's the definition of just behind enemy lines there, Psycho. Bubbly Reaper, he's just waiting there, and he says, yeah, I'll take that. You're gonna take your time, Xenix? Well, I'm gonna steal the ball from you. And it worked out perfectly, a great play. And Grandmasters, they got some life here as we're approaching halfway. They gotta win this game to force the game 5 to start off the season. That'd be one way. That's a huge passing play. Bubbly Reaper's gonna slot it home. What a play here. The Grandmasters have now taken the lead.
Yeah, they have woken up. Goff with a pass down to Bubbly Reaper, who slots that perfectly. He couldn't have put it in a better spot. Just past Miles, taking the lead as we enter into the second half of game number 4 here on Forbidden Temple. Why am I not surprised? Moifin with the flip reset, but Bubbly Reaper can't get a good shot off of the pass. Goff gonna miss his touch. Miles pops it up, looking for the follow out of the corner. Gets the pinch. This is in front of the net. The double commit from Phoenix. This could result in something for Grandmasters as the ball gets sent down. Miles in the corner. Gonna make the clearing carry as Moifin pops it up. Moifin looking for a second touch, gets it, but he's a little bit awkward. The double commit from Grandmasters leaving Goff back by himself. The 2v1 is not going to work out as Xenix gets a great pass inside to Yor.
Yeah, that is just textbook right there. Xenix right onto Yor and Goff. He's got so much of the net to cover, and his former teammate, now rival in this one, is going to slot it right behind him. Goff a little bit left on an island, and Yor, he's been a shooter all series long, and no bigger goal than that one so far.
No, sir. As they equalize the score against the Grandmasters and take away that precious lead that they should have been holding on to dearly. With a minute 40 left on the clock, Xenix getting mechanical on us, but Moifin gonna bang that ball away, clearing it all the way back to the Phoenix defensive zone. Goff is there, gets the redirect. What a shot, and great save from Xenix on the goal line as he comes in clutch for Phoenix. Xenix, almost getting it through. I thought he went for the fake, but it didn't work out for him. And Bubbly Reaper gonna try for the dunk off of Miles and not gonna get it. Yor to send it down. Both of these teams now showing off a little bit here, Rocker Man, with the different their mechanical capabilities.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, Xenix, again, we just see him flip resetting, and oh my goodness, Goff, I thought you almost had that redirect there, but it just wasn't quite meant to be. And now, under a minute remaining, we're once again at that margin where the next goal will probably win this one with how this series has been going. And it's all about who's going to clutch up here, who's going to take control of the possession, take control of the boost, take control of that midfield, and set their team up for success heading down this final stretch.
And will the Grandmasters be able to do it, or will Phoenix do it, or will we see an overtime? No, we won't. Yor is going to be the deciding factor as he catches the Grandmasters out of pocket, nobody back, and he's gonna just shoot an empty net.
He does, and I'm not sure what happened to Bubbly Reaper. Maybe looking for a demo. Maybe just a little bit overcommitted there for the Grandmasters, and now with 20 seconds left, they are going to need some magic here to try to tie this up and send it to OT.
Oh, and the magic is just not in favor of them. The magic is in favor of Phoenix right now.
Oh my goodness, Miles, he just fakes underneath, he gets that last touch, and Moifin, that's almost impossible to read right there in a tough spot. With 13 seconds left, it's looking like the Phoenix could be starting out this season 1-0, unless the Grandmasters can, oh my goodness, they're trying to set something up, but they are going to need a big miracle right here.
And that was almost the start of it, the shot, but Yor holding strong against the post, puts it down, dashing the dreams of Grandmasters. Phoenix, ladies and gentlemen, are going to take that W, the first W of Season 8 on the stream here tonight. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, and that is one way to start things off here, Psycho, for their season. I mean, it almost doesn't get bigger than this. You're playing on stream on opening day. You know, these guys were 3-15 last season, and they're starting out 1-0. So, hey, maybe this is the turnaround here. You get them on stream. I mean, to me, Psycho, Yor was that MVP of that series. I know ZX is crazy. Miles put a lot of goals, but he was putting the majority of them. Another hat trick to close things out. And I'm glad to see Yor back in the league. He was one of those guys that I always enjoyed watching on Gravity. And he put up a show for us here tonight. And that is the start you need here for the Phoenix. Great opening day win.
Yes, yes, it was. Grandmasters also doing a really good job, just couldn't pull through there at the end. So they had to walk home with the loss, but that's all right. They'll regain. They got plenty of time left to go, time to build on what they have, which is already a strong foundation. But Phoenix, hats off to you on your W. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our first game here tonight. We're going to take a short break as we get some fresh new casters up into the booth for you, and we get some fresh new teams on the pitch. We're going to be coming back from break in just a couple of minutes. We're going to be moving down to the Novice League, where we have Ignite versus the Whelps, and this is going to be a fire matchup because this is I'm not sure the word I'm looking for here, Rocker Man, a repeat, if you will, of season 7 grand finals matchup in the Novice League.
Yeah, it's going to be a grand finals rematch. We have two more of those coming your way. So the best of the best from last season, in the Novice League and then the Challenge League are going to be going at it. It's going to be a great one. A couple quick shout outs before we head to break. Shout out to Not Rilo, or maybe he is Rilo, for 7-month resub. And also shout out to Sir Winalot for the raid with 20 viewers. Much love to him for casting some Nemesis matches and then coming in here and raiding the stream. So much love to you. And yes, it's going to be a good one. So we're going to take a short break. Give us a couple minutes, and then we'll be back here. We have Ignite versus Whelps, grand finals rematch from season 7. You guys don't want to miss it, so stay tuned, and we will be right back.
company. Between my own thoughts and me, I sing, but something took my melody. Maybe it's just like my mama said. Maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. And cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are good. All my life, I'll fight, no lullaby, bye-bye. Love is so easy to spell, but I can't explain it well. It's like heaven till it's hell, oh well. Maybe it's just like my mama said. Maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. Cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are good. All my life, I'll fight, no lullaby, bye-bye. Maybe it's just like my mom said. Maybe the monsters aren't under the bed. Maybe they're up there inside of my head instead. And cut the lights, close the blinds and say goodnight, goodnight. Nothing rhymes in my mind, no lullaby, bye-bye. I'm the black sheep, no one's counting, Lord. When I fall asleep, all my dreams are
Left me in this mess, I'm falling. Heaven knows. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to some more Nemesis Gaming League action. We're coming at you with the second matchup of the night. I'm joined by a good friend, Co-Caster. Really brought up our quality here. Glad to be back with him once again. How you doing, Charles? Or Gallium, whichever one you prefer.
You know, I'll go with Charles. It'll just be easier for everybody. I'm doing all right, merely. Very excited for this matchup. I think I've been waiting all day. You know, I could barely sleep last night because I was thinking about this matchup and, you know, the implications it can mean for both teams. I mean, one side you have Ignite, who were your Season 7 champions, and the team that came second place, but some might say they should probably have won it as well. So, I mean, just two amazing teams going off in week one merely, and this is some exciting Nemesis Rocket League that we have on our hands.
Most definitely. And I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we did have these two face off. Like you said, grand finals of last season. Ignite came back from being the number 10 seed, the lowest seed ever, to win a grand finals, made it all the way through a bracket, which the odds looked like they were against them at all times. Even in the grand finals, we're down 3-1 to Whelps, but managed to turn around, managed to come back and take that championship. Now Whelps going to be looking for some revenge definitely here in this matchup. Before we get into this one, real quick, we can talk about the players in a second, but I want to know, we already saw what happened in the grand finals, but what's going to happen in this one, Charles?
Uh, you know what, Merely, I think I have to go Ignite on this one, and I'm gonna go Ignite in 5. I think it's gonna be tooth and nail in this one, and I think Ignite's just gonna barely take this one.
You know, you very well may be right. Ignite had a lot of close series last season, but we have two very different rosters this time, as we are going to get things underway already. Almost a kickoff goal there. You can already see the familiar face of C Money on the pitch was Prospect last season, now moving down to Novice as Novice boundaries were raised. But the only players actually on each team that are coming back are LNR Vita for Ignite, and Grebsy on the Whelps. So obviously your prediction's still keeping Ignite in the lead, but do you think these roster shifts are going to have any effect on the outcome of this series?
Oh, of course. It's going to have an effect on the outcome regardless of who you put out there. But I will say, Vita on the Ignite side of the ball is a very slept-on player in Novice, and I don't think a whole lot of people just realize how much talent he really has. And I'm excited to really see him shine here. And Grebsy on the other side of the ball wasn't talked about enough on the Whelps. I think he was that notable third man for them last season. Really an excellent player, and I'm looking for him to really do some damage to this all-familiar Ignite team.
It's hard to disagree with your take here. I mean, LNR Vita, we talked about him a lot last season, but he was somewhat overshadowed by the likes of Rooney on Ignite. He's already looking to get things off fast here in game number 1. So we still have an equal score line so far, but in Novice, you know, it's not the Novice League we quite remember, but the tides can still shift quickly. Plenty of opportunities for both teams thus far, but none capitalized just yet. Grebsy gonna try to take this one out of the corner. Missing the touch out. That'll allow C-Wink free possession, gets it off the backboard. This could be a huge shot. It's just off target. Not able to convert just yet. Here comes LNR Vita, but he was last man. Now it will be the Whelps who have an opportunity here. Grebsy going up for this one, but bats it away. C-Money off to the side, trying to get something going, trying to get a center ball, but a little bit overzealous perhaps. Is this one going to slowly roll into the back of the net? And it will be Ignite who strike first.
What I've noticed from this Ignite team, as C-Wink just gets to pass all three, is they've been constantly applying pressure to that Whelps defense, and I think the Whelps got a chance, and I think they got a little too greedy in that offensive zone, and I think that's why all three of the players were at the spot that they were at, and a really unfortunate goal to start us off here merely is another one gonna slip through by Quackbot, and it's a tie game.
That's a beautiful redirect from Quackbot there. It's been a while since I've seen this name in the league. Love to see him come back just right off the kickoff, taking advantage of the fast ball, keeping the momentum on it, and Ignite just wasn't prepared for a shot to come out that quickly. You still gotta be on your toes. They might have, you know, relaxed a little bit with Whelps shooting not being quite on point, but here comes another one from the Quackbot, and he's gonna put another one hold. He's not missing a shot right now.
I think Quackbot at this point is just going to put the whole team on his back and say, you know what, guys, I got you. Putting two beautiful shots on net. And if this continues, I think the Whelps have a really good chance of taking this game 1.
You know, it's been a long time since I've seen anyone use the breakout in a competitive game of Rocket League, but it seems like one of those cards which in the Novice League, I mean, you've seen it here already, Quackbot able to just put very powerful shots off, not even flipping into them. They are very tough to save with how well they were shot as well. Of course, all the credit goes to Quack. So here comes Grebsy looking to put another one through. But LNR Vita with the control. He'll have the 1v1, but flicks just a little bit too early. He'll still be able to get it around. This could be awkward on the side of the Whelps, but they'll be able to get it out fairly effectively. As 2 minutes remain now. And after Ignite seemingly having the majority of the pressure, all it took was those 2 quick shots, and all of a sudden, Whelps are in the driver's seat here.
I think those 2 goals are going to be extremely important for the Whelps down the road. If you have that confidence and that poise, I mean, everything just feels like it's going to be your game. It's going to feel like it's going to go your way, and I think that's exactly how the Whelps are pretty much going to be expected to feel right now, because they are looking amazing in the offensive zone, and they're down actually in shots. The Ignite has 3 shots, Whelps only have 2, but the shots totals do kind of lie here, as Vito almost puts one in. But Whelps have just looked really good in the offensive zone so far, and I think they're winning those midfield battles and really just beating Ignite to the punch at this point, merely.
Definitely beating them in the shot accuracy department so far. 2 for 2, not looking too shabby for Quackbot. And Ignite, we've seen it from LNR Vita. We talked about him, and we've seen the flashes of mechanical excellence from him. And here he will finally get a chance to put one through. He's been taking a few shots, none come through, but this one will.
A beautiful pass from Tripwire. I mean, just absolutely pinching it there, giving Vita the perfect opportunity to shoot it, and I don't think that was a savable ball there, and Vita just puts a beautiful shot in the back of the net to equalize this game.
He definitely seems like he's probably the fastest player in this lobby so far. He's been, like I talked about already, showing off some of those mechanics, finally getting a chance to use those to get or regain the advantage in this one, but still 2-2. Plenty of Rocket League left to be played. The center trying to come through here. Tripwire clears this one out. Vita going to pop it over one. That could be a beautiful pass, and it will be Tripwire. And these are not the pass plays you're used to seeing in the Novice League here.
No, and especially from a team like Ignite, who last season was offensive, but more of the solo play type. I'm excited to see them now. They're really giving it to each other, and I've noticed they're starting to rotate around each other, which is something I really like to see. And I can't pick out one player on this Ignite side that has looked really that bad. I mean, they've all looked really solid, and you know, if you play better as a team, it's gonna probably get you a win here. And they're up by 1 with 30 seconds remaining. I'm excited to see how this game 1 plays out.
All they have to do is still be wary of those Quackbot shots, as he got a fake on one there. Didn't have enough time to take possession, but still, I like that play. I like that idea from the Whelps. Trying to break through in these final seconds. Now only 12 left to go. A nice little pop. This could be huge, but Tripwire does not get tripped up on the play, and he will stay stalwart on defense. Ignite managing to get out, and this should be game, unless there's some very late game shenanigans. Quackbot trying to keep it up. Still on the ball. The dunk will come through, but Grebsy should be able to keep it up here. Brings it up the wall. C-Wink opting to pop it as well, just trying to get out of possession, but the ball won't go down. This one's still off the bat, and it will finally touch the ground. Ignite manages to hold on, and they'll take a game lead, but it was a pretty close one here.
It was a pretty close one. You have to give credit to where credit's due. Quackbot absolutely popped off that game. Just a beautiful game by Quackbot. Those 2 goals, definitely, even though they didn't win, those 2 goals are definitely still present in the mind for that Whelps roster. And you know, if Quackbot keeps continuing how he's playing, I think the Whelps have a really good chance to maybe take game 2 from it. An Ignite roster who, I'm noticing this now, it's so close to each other in points, which I think is really remarkable, and something that you're going to want to see if you want a solid team play. And team chemistry is very important here in Nemesis, and Ignite is utilizing it to the fullest right now.
I'd have to agree, and I think one of the main differences I'm noticing from this Ignite roster, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you were on the team last season, but it seemed like last season Ignite was very focused around playing around Rooney and kind of letting him set the pace. I mean, Rooney was all over the pitch. He didn't necessarily have the best rotations. He would cut quite a bit, but he was fast enough and mechanical enough that you guys would just try to adapt to how he would play and make the best plays that you could around him. But this Ignite roster seems much more solid in the department of getting everyone utilized. They're setting each other up for passes. They're creating space where they can. And if they can keep playing like this, they're going to be a scary team, not just in this series, but in the entire season.
And merely, I am here for it. I love me some good team chemistry. But on the other side of the ball, this Whelps team is looking pretty hungry for this game 2 so far. And I'm excited to see how this game 2 changes from game 1. Obviously, Whelps are going to have to adapt here. I'm curious to see how they think that they need to adapt to this Ignite roster.
I'm also curious for that. You could see there, Grebsy was playing a solid third man the last game, but he was suffering a little bit in terms of game impact in the points department. Kind of seemed a little bit lost at some points. If it weren't for Quackbot just slamming home two beautiful shots, wouldn't have been much at all for the Whelps. And I'm also curious in your thoughts on that, Charles. I mean, how do you think they do need to adapt to try and deal with this Ignite chemistry that's coming at them?
Obviously it's going to be a little tough. Ignite looking so good playing together right now, but I think the key here is, I always say this, and I think it's an important thing that needs to be said over and over again, is if you win those midfield battles merely, it's going to be so much easier for you. And I don't think that's the immediate fix, but if you want to fix it in the long run, that's exactly what you're going to need. As a shot almost slips by there, a little close, sweat on the brow there. But as I was saying, you have to win those midfield battles and, get into the Ignite zone, scare them a little bit, make them work for whatever goals that they're going to, get on you. And, as another shot coming out here. But yeah, those midfield battles are going to be extremely important in this series.
I gotta say, so far, I am extremely impressed, I'll say it again, by what Quackball is bringing to the table. The only reason that ball from Ignite did not go in the net before, and Grebsy almost able to find the counter. Welp starting to get up in the face of Ignite a little bit, like you said, starting to find some pressure of their own, which was sorely lacking in the first game. It's that meaningful pressure that you need. You can't just drive the ball close to their net. You have to be attacking. You have to be putting these shots on target. Here comes Grebsy looking to do just that. Can't get past everyone, but the ball will be sent back to Quack. A little bit of an awkward exchange in the corner here. Looks like it will favor Ignite. But Grebsy will be able to get that one. The dunk still not leading to much for Ignite, and it's just like the first game. Once again, not much happening in the first in terms of score, but plenty of little micro battles being won in corners. Welp starting to push back against this Ignite pressure, starting to push back against the oppression that they felt with Ignite just all over them in the previous game. And in the meantime, Ignite trying to reestablish that dominance. Here comes C-Money. Can't quite find the clear once again. Ignite starting to get a foothold once again in the position of Whelps. C-Money gets dunked off that ball. That's high off the backboard. Could be tough, but the read is extremely tough. And even though we are 3 minutes in, still no score just yet here. I'm wondering, what's going to be the icebreaker here? What's going to be the difference now that it seems that Whelps have solidified their defense?
I think the icebreaker is going to be those solo plays. Both teams just look incredible right now, just playing off each other, playing beautifully. But I think I'm going to need to see a solo play from one of these. And, I wouldn't mind a solo play with a little bit of bumpage. I'm not going to lie, a little bit of demo interaction. And because I do love demos. I think there is definitely a demo meta going around right now, and I think both teams need to utilize that meta and see if they can't make it work for them.
Yeah, I think anyone who's played more than half a ranked game in the last season can attest to that demo meta, as it is rampant. And something that I think we see mostly in the higher leagues when teams can't break through. They start to realize that if you can't go through them, then take them out of the equation. But neither team here are really opting to go for that route. Must not have very many demo-heavy players in the lobby because everyone's just kind of all over the ball as Grebsy will manage to get one here. The defensive Ignite put in an awkward spot, and Whelps will be able to strike first.
Big body Grebsy just doing it all himself, passing it to himself, putting it down, and that is the solo play that you need to get back into this game. Last game it was Quackbot twice. And now it is Grebsy here, and such an important goal for this Whelps team.
Important indeed, as now only 48 seconds left. It's Ignite who have to push for a goal here. They had so much success just pressuring constantly on the Whelps in game one. This time it's not working as well. They still have shots. Still 4 shots to their name, but it's the Whelps who are striking first, and they are striking hard. 2-0 for the Whelps in game 2.
Oof, Grebsy's getting hot. It's getting hot in here for Grebsy. It's a beautiful shot trickling in, and what I'm noticing for this Whelps roster is everybody's stepping up. Next game, if this pattern keeps continuing, who knows, C-Money might have a monster game. But it's just looking really good for the Whelps right now. 30 seconds left, and they're looking like they're going to take this game too, merely.
Barring any late game antics once again, 20 seconds is not much time. Especially when Ignite have been struggling a little bit. LNR Vita been missing some reads, and Quackbot been hitting some fakes. Almost gets that one through. I love these mind games coming out here. They seem to be quite effective, just messing with Ignite, who does like to get aggressive and go for dunks. There will be one goal there for Ignite. I think that was a forced own goal. I don't think it was going wide, but Ignite, a little bit of life in the final seconds.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Ignite. I think it was a little bit of a misplay
Oh,
by C Money. I don't think that was intentional, but nevertheless, Ignite definitely needing that goal. And I have to say, it was a good team play from Ignite, and that's what I've been noticing in this series. You know, regardless if they lose this or not, they're still looking really good as a team. And you know, it's now 1-1 in the series, it basically comes down to solo plays or team play at this point. I mean, because that's basically what these two teams are bringing to the table. And I want to ask you merely if you see any other trends with these two teams.
yeah, it seems like the Whelps really changed up this one. Like I was talking about Grebsy in the beginning of the game, he looked a little bit lost in game number one, but this one he really stepped up. He managed to find his footing, and he came out scoring the only 2 goals for the Whelps. And it really felt like he was much more of a factor here in the rotations on the defensive and offensive side of the Whelps. I know you talked about him being a third man, but actually, right now, he's looking like more of an offensive player as he's been able to hit those shots, been able to get those dunks on the goal line when it's necessary. And Ignite, in the same sense, well, in a different sense, they still had some pressure in this one. They had shots on the board, but they were lacking that same accuracy. And what I'm fearing for Ignite, so far at least, hard to tell off of 2 games, is that it seems like their playstyle is very dependent on if they can convert on more difficult opportunities. Like I was talking about, LNR Vita had a couple of misplays off the backboard where if he could have gone a touch even or scored the ball, then it could have been a completely different game. But they seem to have a higher risk factor than the Whelps right now.
I honestly think the reason Ignite was so successful last year is you had the scare factor from Rooney. You knew Rooney was a mechanical god, and you knew that he would just take these incredible shots. And speaking of incredible shots, Vita's just gonna put it in the back of the net, and it's now 1-0. Holy cow!
And there it is. I mean, I was just talking about these are the same kinds of opportunities, albeit this one a little bit easier of a read for LNR Vita, but he puts it home. These were a couple shots he missed last game. He puts it home, and all of a sudden, Ignite are up. Obviously, you cannot give him opportunities like that if you want your scoreboard to stay untouched as LNR Vita. Now he's getting a little bit of momentum, and Ignite up 2-0 all of a sudden.
And what I was gonna touch on earlier was you had Rooney who would just scare other teams with his pure skill, and I was gonna say Vita needs to step up and assert himself onto the Whelps, make them fear him a little bit, and that's what it's looking like right now. Is 2-0, obviously looking good, but we'll see if this Ignite defense can hold up and not allow a goal here at the beginning stages of this game.
Yeah, I think he may have heard your internal monologue there, as he is definitely making his presence known. His confidence has seemed to increase, which I think is I think that's fair after scoring 2 goals early on. Ignite with an early advantage, and they're going to be looking to take this to a 2-1 series lead. There's plenty of time left, still over 4/5 of the game to go, 4 minutes and some change. Plenty of time for the Whelps to try and make something back. They had good pressure last game, they just can't get back into that same trap of getting trapped in their defense. They have to come out and make plays. This quick Quackbot here trying to get it off the backboard. Will get high, but it's only to an Ignite player. See Money with a nice pinch, but he has to try to follow it. He will follow it well. It's sent back once again, and this is the sort of thing that Whelps want to avoid. LNR Vita now here getting a demo, getting a couple bumps, getting a bump on the defending, and that really could have been a goal there, wink, but it will still be a goal actually as LNR Vita closes it up. Now Ignite starting to get that pressure back, and it's not looking great for the Whelps in this game 3.
Ignite looks so fast right now, and every member of that team right now just looks so quick, and they keep attacking the Whelps. And I think not only Ignite needs to continue doing this, but I think if the Whelps want a chance to get back into this game, I think they're going to have to start being aggressive and quick and take those shots. Really start to scare the Ignite defense. And I keep talking about being scary, and I think that's actually an important factor, especially in novice. Teams will definitely plan out how to deal with a player if they feel like that player is a problem, or the team is a problem, or that aspect of the game is a problem. And I think both of these teams need to develop a problem for the other team, if that makes any sense at all, merely.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, especially, yeah, in the lower leagues when you come across something that you're not used to, something that interrupts your flow of thought, that interrupts your play and becomes an issue, then you have to spend that much more time thinking about the issue, while also trying to develop a way to play around it, which can't be easy when. Oh no. Oh, that's painful. That one, should not have been issue, but they'll gift LNR Vita the hat trick. Just out of goodwill.
Yeah, you were mentioning he got a hat trick. I think that's actually his fourth goal. So, you know,
Oh, that
he's
is his fourth goal. Oh well.
he's looking a little dangerous out there for the Wolves, and definitely presenting a problem for them. If they end up pulling this game 3 out, this game 4, Vita is definitely going to be a main focus if this keeps continuing to happen to the Wolves.
Yeah, and with just under half the game to go, it's not looking great for the Whelps. It's not impossible, but we haven't really seen the scoring potential from them be able to get 4 goals that quickly, at least in this series so far. Although that's a beautiful redirect. Oh my goodness. Grebsy out of nowhere with 0 boost clangs one home.
That was beautiful. That was a work of art. I mean, tears to my eyes right now as Grebsy just gonna put it top shelf, and that's another beautiful shot by Grebsy. Last season he was that third man, and he was a dangerous player, but he was more, if my recollection is correct, more of an assist kind of third man. He'd usually just pass it to the other players. He wasn't really keen for taking too many shots. And now that I'm seeing how good of a shooter he is, I'm kind of curious why he didn't take more shots against us. I mean, he's looking really great out there for this Whelps roster, and he's looking like a star in the making here.
Definitely seeing some potential on the side of Grebsy. I didn't even expect him to be there. I just switched to his perspective all of a sudden and see the ball flying into the other team's net. I don't know if it'll be enough to win them this game, although Quackbot coming through, he's been a shooter as well this series, and he'll put another one on the board.
Quackbot, an amazing shot. Just, I mean, placement over power right there. As he's just gonna put it bottom left. And I was mentioning all this about Grebsy, but not to take away from C Money's pass at all. I mean, just beautiful right to him. And it's now 4-3 for Ignite. And if I was on Ignite, I'd be a little scared here. The Whelps have some momentum, and you do not want them scoring any more goals. Not even if they have a chance to win this game, but for momentum going into the next game.
Yeah, Rocket League, of course, always a mental game. You're always looking for that edge, not just in the physical, but the mental department as well. We saw it. Even, there was that slight whiff on the save from the Whelps that we won't talk about too much. But when you're getting pressed back by a team like Ignite so much, it can really cause your mental to deteriorate, even to the point where you start making mistakes that might be uncharacteristic in other series. We've seen here, though, that they've been able to bounce back. They've been able to at least get 2 goals back. And even though it's not impossible to come back in this game, they can't be thinking too heavily about that. They just have to be thinking about how to move forward, not only in this game, but the series. Plenty of Rocket League left to be played. Still a close series no matter what. That said, though, 30 seconds remaining. Ignite going to try and keep pressing this issue, going to try to keep pressing Whelps back into their own half. They don't want to allow them any opportunity for a miracle comeback. With the time ticking, it seems like it's more and more unlikely. 13 seconds now. As this one sent over Ignite. Big clear over Grebsy, and that should have just about secured it. LNR Vita probably going to look for one more here. He's not someone who's usually happy with any number of goals that he can score in one series, but he's got to be proud of himself for this one. 4 goals for LNR Vita, and it's enough to take down Whelps in game 2.
Yeah, beautiful play from Vita, and not only Vita, but the whole Ignite roster really came together once again. We've noticed how good they are as a team, and if you have that one standout player plus 2 solid guys behind him, it's going to look really good. And I feel like Ignite is one of those teams who can have not just one standout player. I mean, Trip and Seawink can both be as lethal, even more lethal than Vita, and still contribute and have those 2 other guys. I think Ignite is looking really good throughout this series. But on the other side of the ball, Whelps looked kind of scary towards the end of that game. I was liking what I was seeing, especially with that pass play from C Money going over to Grebsy there. But Whelps just really good at shooting. That's what I've noticed. I mean, they've really just I mean, that's just the plain and simple answer. They're just really good at shooting, and that's such a good thing to have, especially if you're a roster that wants to be successful and wants to win. You have to have a team full of shooters, and so far the Whelps are a team full of shooters merely.
And that's one part of the equation. The other part is being able to set up opportunities where you can take those shots. And right now, Whelps just aren't really getting enough of those. They have to try to keep up this pressure, and when you're backed into your own half because of Ignite's pressure, it can be quite difficult, but it is possible. We've seen plenty of opportunities for them. They've already taken one game this series. Let's see if they can take a second and send us into the first game 5 of the season. As things get underway here. Already off to a hot start. Seawink gonna get this one clear. Quackbot will barely get back just in time. Another defensive effort will keep one out of the net. Now Ignite, a little bit awkward in this corner. They've overcommitted. We'll see if the Whelps can do anything to capitalize off of that slight overcommit, which left quite a bit of awkward space in the other half. At the team pinch from Ignite, they're sending 2 players quite often to the ball, but right now it seems to be working out just fine. The Seawink off the corner. This will be an awkward one to read for both teams. Sometimes those ones can go either direction. Quackbot on the other end, still keeping up the speed, still keeping up with the pressure, and C-Money tried to take the shot, but couldn't quite get there. The demo coming out from Tripwire will open up more space. LNR Vita going off the side, might try to get this one around. Won't quite be able to, but the pressure's still there. That one almost on target. Quackbot narrowly saving it. He is just holding it down for the Whelps right now on defense. Already 2 saves, but nothing for each team yet. Seems like we're in yet another sort of stalemate position where the next person to score, the next team to score, might just be the one who ends up taking this game.
Yeah, the next team to score is definitely looking really favorable here. As I know Ignite has such a good offense right now, but let's shout out the Whelps defense there as a little bit of a fortune miss. I don't think he had boost there. The Whelps defense has just looked absolutely outstanding. I mean, so far in this series, just holding off Ignite, and I think having a good defense is key. And I look to see for the rest of the series, if this series goes to a game 5, this defense continue to suffocate Ignite's chances at any sort of goals.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of a pattern. I mean, last game, LNR Vita was just able to come through very quickly early in the game, get that 4-goal advantage, just scoring goal after goal. This game hasn't really had any of those opportunities. Whelps have been playing much more conservatively with their momentum, being able to get back, but that's a huge demo from LNR Vita. Trying to open up some space, but the team bump will make that space mostly useless. Rebsy can't make a touch here, but C-Money still with control, trying to get this one centered, and he will get it centered, but Tripwire there to take control. This one will go off the side. Quackbot going for the redirect, actually, off of the double touch. Wasn't quite able to make it happen, but Whelps are still staying in this one. It's a 1v1 now, though. LNR Vita trying to fake him out. Won't be able to score off of it, but perhaps doing a little bit of mental damage. Whelps remains strong on defense, although they're going to have to hold on a little bit longer. C-Money getting this one through, a huge 50 on his end. This one breaking through Ignite, but still nothing for either team here. And I mean, what is it going to take for one of these teams to be able to score a goal here, Charles?
I think I said this in game 3. I think it's going to have to come down to solo play at this point. I mean, the team players are going out there, as Grebsy looking for a little bit of solo play himself. The team plays have been going out basically this whole game, and I think, oh, never mind. C-Money, as I was going to say, you need a solo play, just doing it all himself.
He just puts himself in the perfect spot to intercept that touch across. Manages to place the shot perfectly. I think if that was directly on target, it was probably saved, but he managed to hit the post and whittle the ball in, which intentionally or not was pretty much the perfect play, although Ignite on the other end might be scoring here. It just goes off the post, and that was a completely free shot.
Oh.
Ignite, they had the opportunity there. That should have been a tie game, but instead Whelps make off like a bandit.
Yeah, they make off like a bandit there, and that is a goal that should have definitely happened there. I honestly don't know how that didn't happen, but a chance that Ignite is going to want to take back here soon, merely.
They most definitely will, and they do have a little bit of time to recover from that and try to win this in 4, but not that much time as more solo play or more plays coming through. Grebsy not quite fast enough to the shot, but that was dangerous once again. LNR Vita can't get any height on this air dribble. He's sent back once again. This could be huge though. This one up top, Grebsy meeting that, and the backflip from LNR Vita. I think if that one was just let going, that could have just rolled into the net.
Yeah.
But a little bit of ambition there from the Whelps. Hard to blame him. And time is running out for Ignite. They need something now. LNR Vita waiting for the boost. It'll spawn right after he leaves, and Disaster all of a sudden keeps striking. They'll have one more chance at this. C-Money getting this off the backboard. Tripwire will get it out. Now it's Wink with
2v1.
low boost, but he can't get the ball on top of his car. He'll try to have to muscle this one in. He can't do it. Tripwire off the side. LNR Vita keeping it up, and this could actually be huge. This could be a double touch, but it's just off, and Ignite. So many opportunities at the end there. This really felt like a game that should have at least gone to overtime, but at the end of the day, Whelps holds strong, and we will be going to our first Game 5 of Season 8.
You know, and I hope my prediction's right. Ignite in 5, because I always like my predictions to be right. I mean, who doesn't? But I think honestly a skill that players and novice particularly need to start developing is the skill to finish your shots. Okay. It is a very important skill to have, and it's a skill that I had to myself learn how to get really good at, like hitting open nets, hitting the shots that you're expected to hit. Because if you become that consistent player, then it's so much easier for you to maybe like give your team that extra goal or two, or maybe boost your rank a little bit. And I think that's something that goes kind of like past people when you're thinking about like helpful skills in Rocket League. I think that skill could definitely help Ignite here as they head into game number 5.
Towards the end there, it seemed like they just kind of needed to slow down. Like that one opportunity, which was a blatant misplay, really should have been a goal if you just take a breath there and realize all you have to do is hit this on target. There was one person in net, but he wasn't very close to anything. As it looks like on this one, we will actually be getting a reset. Looks like one of the players did not join up.
Oh.
And a little bit of a timeout here for both teams. I'm not sure which one this favors. But so far, the pattern seems to have been Ignite with their pressure, just sort of stepping on the neck of the Whelps, and on the other end, the Whelps rising back up and pushing back and not letting Ignite get anything. I'm curious if the pattern continues, this should be an Ignite pressure game. But I'm not sure if that pattern will continue here, Charles.
If the Whelps defense was anything like a defense in football, it'd be probably considered the best defense of all time. Up there with the Ravens and the Seahawks when they had their good defenses. They're just their defense is looking absolutely pristine out there merely. And I honestly, I love the defensive rotations out there. And I've always considered Grebsy to be like a third man, but he's playing like a third man and then some. He's playing like a second man as well. And C-Money's looking good out there. I mean, he's just given his team like all these passes, and who can forget about Quackbot with all these shots? This Whelps roster is looking destined for this Game 5 win after a disappointing end to last season. I think the Whelps finally have a chance to show Ignite, what they're truly capable of. But on the other side of the ball, Ignite just looking absolutely outstanding on offense. But yet again, just you need to finish those shots. And honestly, I could not pick out a single bad player from Ignite. I mean, they all look very good, and they look like they fit around each other well. And even if they lose this series today, here now, I think they are definitely set for the future, and they're looking pretty good moving forward.
I would have to say that about both of these teams, both looking extremely solid, at least by the standards of the first game of the series that I've seen. Still left to see how the other novice teams fare. With the MMRs being raised, we probably will have some intense competition, if I had to make an educated guess. But some good things out of both of these teams so far. Like you said, the Whelps defense, when they have been able to shut down Vita, has been excellent. The one player that I really want to see step up here, he stepped up big in the last game, and I really felt like that made a difference. That was C-Money. He's been, a little bit off in some of these exchanges I've seen, but when he's been there and when he's been effective, it has made all that difference for the Whelps. They really need to try to play as a team, because Ignite certainly are playing as a team right now, and if the Whelps can't rise up, then things might get a little bit difficult for them here.
Yeah, I fully agree. They just need to have everybody step up here. It's not one person stepping up for Wubs. I think every single member of their team has to step up. And you mentioned a player who you want to see perform and who performed well last game. Was C Money in your opinion? I am gonna go on the other side of the ball and say Tripwire. I've noticed his flashes. He's had flashes of talent looking really good, and I expect him to step up big here for his team. And who knows? Maybe they'll both step up. But you know, I'm just excited for some Game 5 Rocket League, baby. We're back here in the Nemesis channel, merely. I know you're excited, and I'm so excited for some action.
We can only hope for the best. As we are well underway, Game 5 here now. 3:50 on the clock. Already a minute gone by, and we're seeing more of the same. So far this series, it's just been back and forth, back and forth. The pressure swinging to either side of the pendulum, but no one able to capitalize. And it's that tension that gets broken. That's usually what decides how the rest of the game will go. This first goal, so important. Whichever team scores it, you put at a massive advantage. And it's hard to say who it will be this time. How back and forth the series has been so far. And Arvita trying to get the air dribble, can't quite make it happen, but the pressure's still mounting for Ignite. Wink coming through here, but his third man has to be careful. And Wink will get off the ceiling, trying to get the touch. That could have been huge, but can't quite make it happen. Ignite defense will be scrambling to make it back. Vita can't make the touch there either. Looks like there might have been a little bit of bumpage, a bit of awkwardness in the midfield. As the play is slowing down now. Grebsy with the touch, just barely blocked away. Ignite holding on for now. But it's the Whelps who look like they're starting to carve out their own niche in this series. They're starting to get this pressure, and they're starting to look scary for Ignite here.
Yeah, they are starting to heat up a little bit here. And as they've started to heat up, I've noticed Ignite's defense is looking really good right now. I mean, they've really just been kind of suffocating the Whelps' offensive pushes right now. And obviously the Whelps' defense looking really good as well. You know, if you're here for offense, you know, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to get much of that. As this is a defensive battle, and it's going to be exciting down the stretch.
Never did I think I would see a defensive battle in Novice, but here we are, both teams battling it out. The armor holding strong for both sides so far, but the more time goes on, the more important this first goal becomes. Only 2 minutes left now, and still no one has bent or broken. Tripwire trying to change that, but he can't make the touch on this one. More awkwardness in the corner. Seamoney gonna try to get it out, but there's an Ignite member waiting just there, and it's not who you want if you're on the Whelps. Rebsy will do well to shut that down quickly, and the redirect coming through. The money actually that time with a nostalgic redirect there, seemingly from earlier in the series, but this one won't quite go on target. Ignite has gone wiser as the series progresses. Wink will send this one away. See Money off the backboard, looking for the double touch. Can he get this read? He gets it almost on target. Just going to be off, and so many near misses. You know, I said he needed to step up, and C Money might have heard me, because he is so close to doing some huge damage in this Game 5.
No, he's looking absolutely incredible. And the player who I said would step up has been looking good, but on the assist side of the ball, as here's a shot here, and Tripwire is gonna put it in the back of the net, baby. Woo!
And there he is. We talked about him, and he finally steps up here big. Quackbot not able to be into the challenge. He'll be able to get that one around, scoring the first goal of game number 5. That's gotta feel good. And now if you're Ignite, just keep pushing, keep holding on to these defenses, and you will be just fine. But it's easier said than done with the Whelps on the field. 2 players from Ignite, double commit. They do manage to get a nice touch, but Vita can't really follow it. Trying to stay present, but the bumps from Ignite not going to be exactly where they want. C-Money trying to get to the 50 here. And the Whelps now on the back foot. They can't fall back into the same way of getting pressured by Ignite. They have to try to push for something here. They have to get aggressive. Quackbot trying to get this one here. It's back to Tripwire, who sends it right back in. Ignite just have to play keep away. They don't even need to score, but that's a huge pinch.
Ooh.
And that one just almost going on target. I think it was on target, but the save will go away.
Oh.
Quackbot can't get the shot, but C-Money can. And C-Money steps up huge, making it happen. And we do get a tie game before it is over.
I honestly think we're the best casters when it comes to predicting merely. We literally said these 2 players would step up, and look where we are now. It is now 1-1 with 20 seconds left. And really, I think this one's going to overtime. Let's keep the predictions rolling.
We'll have to see. That's a near miss there from Ignite. Not a toot our own horn, but those are some pretty good predictions. Let's see how the rest of the game pans out. Is this one barely off target, but that pinch was huge. The double commit from Whelps. There could be another shot here. It will get 50'd out, and that should be it. Actually, it will be kept up. This is Rocket League moment. Is that one centered? But it won't amount to much. A little bit of nervousness on the side of both the Whelps and Ignite there at the end, and now heading into overtime. Anyone's game once again. Doesn't look like it's going to come down to a kickoff goal this time, and now I am even more unsure than ever who this favors right now, Charles.
No, it looks like it could go either way. These teams look like absolute clones of each other right now. I could not tell you who is going to score this next goal, but what I can tell you is this is going to be one heck of a thriller, and I think it's going to be a defensive battle to the very end.
It just might be. There has been a lot of defensive works in this entire series. Tripwire there trying to throw a wrench in the defensive rotations of Whelps, and here comes Eleanor Vita getting the air dribble, but it's blocked away by Grebsy. He's had a read on these for quite a while now. Not letting Eleanor Vita get what he wants, not giving him the space he desires. As this one's slowly coming through. The flick is high, but good patience from Ignite. Not rushing in. Keeping a good head on their shoulders. Here comes Tripwire, sending this one towards net. And Eleanor Vita just narrowly avoids the redirect. The Whelps almost redirect it for him, and here comes Seawinks. The shot not quite good. And now Quack will have a 1v1. Can he keep it on top? He just needs a flick. Won't be able to send it past, but the pressure for Whelps is palpable. Seawink has to make a save. There's another shot coming through. Tripwire trying to rush this one home. That's awkward on the goal line. C-Money barely makes a save, and I do not know what we are seeing here. This is absolute pandemonium all of a sudden.
My heart is racing at 1,000,000 miles per hour right now. I don't know what's going to happen next. And I will say, these teams look like they're in a boxing match. They're trading blows left and right to each other. It's just who can land that final knockout punch that I think seals it, and it's going to be Vita on the Ignite side of the ball.
And who else but the man himself, Eleanor Vita. He had the 4-goal game, got a little bit quiet, and he's back just in time to win the series for Ignite. Beautiful display there. A thriller through and throughout, but Ignite managed to get the dub. Such a close effort from Whelps, but it just wasn't quite enough.
My room got 10 degrees hotter in that game. I was sweating a little bit, to be honest with you, Merely. That was probably... I know Game 7 Grand Finals for Novice, Ignite Whelps won Game of the Year last year. And, we should just have these teams face off more often. It's absolute classics every time. And, Ignite pull that out again, but Whelps, oh my gosh, just such a great roster you guys have. I'd be so proud if I was on the Whelps team. I mean, you guys looked absolutely incredible. And shout out C-Money, shout out C-Money for really putting his team on his back there towards the end. The prediction by Merely, but that whole roster. I mean, you have Quack, who just looked absolutely crazy. And Game 1 just popped off, put the team on his back, and Game 2 just it was Grebsy who put the team on his back, and that last game it was C-Money, but overall just absolute classic from these two.
I might need a second to bring my heart rate down, but one more shout out to the Whelps, actually. We didn't mention it before the stream, got a little bit caught up in the hype, but Quackbot, thank you for the 8-month subscription. I'm sorry that we couldn't see you get the dub today. I think you deserved it. I haven't seen you play Rocket League in a long time, but I am very excited to see what you are going to do with this season, because that was an excellent display, and with some good teammates on your side as well, I think you guys are really going to do some damage. A great look from both teams here. Obviously, we could go on and on about what we just saw. Just a fantastic series. I couldn't be more grateful that that's the first series I get to cast this season. I hope there's a lot more like him.
Yeah, same here.
But with that said, we will be going to a short break before we come back for our last series of the night. We will be heading into the Challenger League, where the Bishops face off against the Raptors. Got another Grand Finals rematch there. Raptors taking the victory last season against the Bishops in convincing fashion. Bishops will be looking for a little bit of revenge. So stay tuned, guys. You won't want to miss it. It might even be another one like this one. Who knows at this point? But we will be back after just a short break. Thank you guys so much. Been a pleasure. We'll catch you on the flip.
Left me in this mess. Left me in this mess. I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Nemesis, where the grind continues. We've had some interesting matchups so far, and we're about to start off into the final event of the night. with another Grand Finals rematch. I am joined in the booth by Jaegers. Jaegers, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing fantastic, Jeff. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it almost seems planned, doesn't it? A lot of grand finals rematches happening for the first night of the season, and hopefully this one just matches the intensity of the last one. We do have a good matchup. Raptors versus Bishops. Two very high-powered teams from the looks of it. From what I've seen in the combine, it should be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And as I'm looking at the rosters for these two teams, Jaegers, it seems like things have really changed up on the field. I'm seeing only really a couple of faces that have really stayed. Actually, I think for Raptors, I think Raptors has entirely switched up their roster. I don't think anybody is the same on the Raptors side of the field. And as far as the Bishops, I think Fort is the only one making a really return appearance for his team. So it's a grand finals rematch, true, but can we really expect the same type of energy out of both of these teams having changed their rosters so dynamically? What do you think, Jaegers?
I mean, one can only hope. A lot of new faces here. I mean, SS Megalodon and Fort, the only two players really returning from last season. SS Megalodon, actually the GM of the Raptors organization. So we're gonna have to see if he shows up out for his franchise.
Yep, so already we've got game one underway, just a minute in, and there's been some back and forth action so far. Looks like Hypnotic trying to back pass to Fort, a little 50 action going on. Oh, Megalodon with the demo on Fort. The ball's coming around center. No one's quite there. Shot off the goalpost, not going to fall in. So already some high-paced action, Jaegers, not already that far into game number one.
And Jeff, a little bit of a missed opportunity on the Raptors side. The ball was kind of hovering a little bit around the Bishop's box, and no one on the Raptors wanting to capitalize, not wanting to be the first team to maybe reach out a little too far and let in the first goal of the season off the counterattack.
Indeed. So 3:30 left on the clock. A pass right here. Megalodon gonna put it in as he gets a pass from Boxel. An absolutely beautiful play.
And just a good pass by Boxel, hitting the ball into Fort, forcing the redirect, and Megalodon was there for the finish. And that is the first goal of the season for the Raptors.
Really good start. Honestly, that's one of those plays that I like to do even when I play in Rocket League, is it just those shots where you just chip it into your opponent's car because you know they're right there. It's so satisfying when it goes your way because it's kind of like a aha, I kind of got you moment. But good show from the Raptors here, starting off. Three minutes still left on the clock though, so there's plenty of time for the Bishops to come back. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I like the energy that both of these teams are bringing to the field, and already looks like another pass around mid. Boxel trying to get it across, but not quite able to get the shot. But the pressure is still unrelenting from the Raptors.
No,
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm really liking this pressure from the Raptors. The Bishops do have equal shots to the Raptors, but the Raptors over the past minute or so, it's just been all them. They're staying on the Bishop side of the field, not letting them breathe. And let's see how the Bishops react to this.
Indeed, they definitely got to try to get something on the board. You don't want to go too long without having scored. It starts to wear down on your mentals as far as the game playing on. You definitely want to try and equalize that as soon as possible. Kind of let yourself, although I can't exactly say that they're going to have a breath to really breathe, even if they do score. It seems like Raptors are really aggressive right now on the field as this plays out. Oh, and another shot right there, but still, so far the Bishops have been able to hold it at a 1-goal deficit and not let any more Jaegers, but the pressure is still on.
And really, that's just showing how good this Bishops defense is going right now. They have let 1 goal in, but I mean, every shot that Raptors take, there's been a Bishop just to meet the ball, to keep it out their net, and all they need to do is get some action on the offensive side, and I mean, we have a ball game.
Indeed, and if my memory serves me correct, as I'm just about to talk about it though, the Raptors score a 2nd goal. Boxel to Blah right off the corner, and just self-feed it right into the back of the goal.
And just a good read by Blah. The Bishops weren't quite ready for the ground shot, like probably thinking that the Bishops player would opt for a little bit more power, but Blah reading that play just hit it under them, and Megalodon just gonna put another one in there, further extending their lead. And with a minute left, I don't think the Bishops can come back, especially the rate the Raptors have been playing.
Yeah, with 1:17 left on the clock, and as I was gonna mention, if my memory serves me correct, I thought Bishops was one of the more defensive teams in the league, and the fact that Raptors has been able to put up 3 points and keep Bishops at a solid 0, it's really showcasing what Raptors are bringing to the table, and so how they're trying to have a replay exactly of what happened the previous time they were in the grand finals. Raptors ended up taking that win, but it's looking like game 1 is solidly in the Raptors side of the court of the field, and they're gonna have to really adapt in game number 2, Jaegers, to try to find out what they need to do to beat this team. But finally, Fort's gonna break the silence. Is it enough though, with only 40 seconds on the clock?
Well, you know what they say, Jeff. As long as there's time, they've got a chance. Although it would be tough to come back against this Raptors offense. I mean, this Bishops team, if they get a good kickoff here, put one in, they have 30 seconds to operate. Anything's possible.
I mean, they get a good kickoff right here. Unfortunately, Levi did not have any boost to get around to that ball, and Megalodon was able to beat him out on the get. So this pass to Levy, up top right corner, trying to get slotted in. He baits one out to the left side, and Fort scores 2 goals. Maybe we have a game, Jaegers.
Hold on, 20 seconds left. Anything's possible. And this Bishops team has all the momentum right now. This Raptors team is reeling. They're up by 1, but can they make the hold with 20 seconds left? Only time will tell.
I remember before from the Bishops roster, it was Fort and Kratos really putting in the work, of course. So as I start singing their praises, the Raptors want to try to retaliate.
Just a really good kickoff by Megalodon. He had extra boost. That boot was able to beat Hypnotic out the way, and kind of put the death knell on this Bishops comeback here.
Indeed, and you know, I was gonna make mention that when Bishops were having a little bit of a comeback, that it was really the 2 strong players for Bishops was Fort and Kratos. You don't see Kratos on the lineup anymore, so interesting to see how Kratos, you know, not on the lineup. Is that gonna hurt Bishops moving forward? Fort seems to be doing all right as a solo player for his team right now, but obviously game 1 is going to retire as soon as this ball hits the ground. Can they get a little goal at the end? Yes, they can. So not as bad of a loss, Jaegers, but still a loss. But a lot of work from the Bishops in the final few seconds of that game.
Absolutely. They just started a little bit too late. And, I mean, it looks good for the box score, but a loss is still a loss. And they're going to wish they had that kickoff goal back.
Indeed, definitely could have been an overtime possibility, but still good showing from both of these teams. Look at the shot count. I mean, 9 shots from Bishops and 9 from Raptors. So, I mean, it doesn't really get too much closer than that, Jaegers, as far as stats go. And even looking at the points, not that points are really anything to go by, but it's just a really close matchup from both of these teams. It could have gone either way, but an unfortunate kickoff goal, as you mentioned, was really the thing that put the nail in the coffin for Bishops.
No, I mean, I really just think this shows how even these teams are. I mean, Raptors just got a fresh start. Bishops maybe new to the stream nerves, maybe not ready for it, and they did kind of come back reeling. Like, Raptors had all the pressure, and probably with a minute left, the Bishops kind of got their feet set, started the comeback. And you know that kickoff goal just put it away. But up until that point, it was really looking in that last minute like the Bishops were the better team.
Indeed. So we'll see what game 2 holds in store. As 20 seconds in, the ball is already on the Bishop side, but an unlucky pinch from Megalodon kind of almost sends the ball into his own goal. But still, the ball stays out. Good save from Blah. Hypnotic trying to turn this one back around from the backboard, but just kind of clears it over to the corner. Can Fort kind of bring this one back around to center? Gets a demo, but nobody from his team there, so maybe a little bit of a squandered opportunity for the Bishops. Good clear from Megalodon, taking it back down into the Bishops side of the field.
Ooh,
but man, some power clears coming up from both of these teams, Jaegers. Love to see it, how quickly the ball can transition from each side of the field.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you saw there, Blab barely missed that double touch attempt, and the Raptors did well to get behind the ball, rotate back fast enough because that could have been a kick, a goal, but Boxer will gonna just put it in.
Yeah, I mean, you see Megalodon over to the side, Blah as well. A little three-piece action on the team, and unfortunately, Levy is left in the dust as he just did not have the speed to beat Boxel. And it is Raptors again who take first score in game number 2. So already, it's not exactly what you want to see if you're Bishops, but I feel like still you're not too worried about one goal. You definitely don't want to let it stay, but considering if I'm the Bishops, I'm looking at it from a point of how much we can gain in such a short amount of time considering what we did in game number 1, right? So I'm thinking, I know my team has the potential to do it. We've got a strong lineup, and we clearly have a strong pressure. So, you know, we don't need to worry about a goal too much. Don't let it ruin how we play out. But at the same time, we definitely don't want to be in the hole any longer than we have to.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still plenty of time left. One goal back is completely comebackable. Like, you don't have to stop playing your game. You don't have to ramp up the pressure. You don't really need to change anything other than just maybe get some shots on target, get some demos, mess up the rotations. Because, I mean, right now, with the exception of that goal, it's looking very even, and Boxwool does well to hit it away there.
That was a really clutch save for the Raptors. The pressure that Bishops just brought there and the passing plays are really on point. The flip reset from Blah. It's towards the left side. What an actual stopper to stop Bishops completely in their tracks off that flip.
And the Bishops' defense is in shambles, not expecting that touch. There's 3 in the net, but got past all 3 bounces top left. And the Raptors doubled their lead.
That, honestly, a really dirty flip reset if I've ever seen one. Just completely caught the defense off guard. They were totally rotating hard and fast to try and seem like a power shot was coming in there, something more than what they got. So that is really just a high IQ play to recognize how the defense was rotating and really pick it apart like that. So we're down to almost 2 minutes now left on the clock. And we're at a very familiar spot before as the Raptors hold a 2-goal lead over top of Bishops. And so far, the Bishops just have a couple shots to their name, but nothing lasting or anything that's going to stick on the scoreboard for them right now, Jaegers. So it's going to be interesting to see if they are going to try and make a last-second comeback like they were attempting in game number 1.
I mean, they scored 3 in the last minute. They're still in prime territory, and it's going to help out a little. Fort putting one past the defense, and I mean that's plenty of time to make a comeback, Jeff.
I mean, 143, and surprise, surprise, it's Fort again knocking at the door of Raptors. Fort's really been showing off for his team. He's been the one that's been putting the most points, the most goals in the net for his team. Actually, I think he might have been the only one putting goals.
Oh my.
But that is an unfortunate break right there, and Megalodon has an absolute cherry pick of a goal, not even going to go contested.
And, you know, Jeff, I feel like this is a problem the Bishops have because they score and then immediately give up an unfortunate goal. They either rotate too far up or have just mess up on the kickoff, and it's just a comedy of errors, like especially right after they score.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see because right after you get a goal, your team is starting to feel good again. You're like, okay, we got a goal, we can score, and then the moment you let your opponent score right back on you, it just like takes the wind completely out of your sails. Like, now we're just back right to where we started, back in the trenches, trying to dig out of it. Oh, a lucky break right there from Fort. He gets a touch and keeps Megalodon just barely out of reach of putting another goal into the net. But yeah, Bishops, they've got to dig deep right now and get themselves out of where they are. Because right now, the Raptors are just hammering away at the net.
And we have seen the Bishops come back from here. But, I mean, if they keep allowing the Raptors score like this, just simple goals. I mean, they just got dunked away by Boxwell. And they just need to get out of their half, Jeff.
Yeah, they've really been stuck in their own half of the field for far too long. A defense can only do so much for so long when it's stuck rotating, around. it's eventually something's gonna crack. And right now, the wall's been cracking big for Bishops. They need to try to get something here. Fort, unfortunately, going to go over top of that one. Boxel doesn't quite get the pinch he wanted, but again, another whiff from the Bishops players. So now Fort down the left side. He's only got 30 seconds, so they need a goal every 10. That's a good flick over the middle, but no one's there, and Blah's going to clear this one over to the corner. Hypnotic also whiffing out. You can't whiff at this point. You've got to make solid contact. There's not that much time left on the clock. A good save from Fort, but they don't need saves. They need shots, Jaegers. And this one here from Hypnotic, it's towards the right-hand side, but it's not enough. Even the demos there really just shutting down Bishops. Boxel just going to let this one drop as he flicks it over a defender. But that's game number 2, Jaegers. And that was not as strong of a showing out of Bishops as we saw in game number 1.
Absolutely. It was a lot less climactic. Raptors just are on a scoring rampage, scoring back-to-back games with 4 goals. Can they keep it going? And if you're the Bishops, it's back to the drawing board. You need to stop this Raptors offense. You need to change something up because you can't let them just keep taking pot shots on net and expect to win the game.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a fundamental shift in how the Bishops are playing this game right now. But definitely Fort has been the strong point of their team. I feel like they need to. The other 2 players of the team, I mean, you're looking down at Levy. I mean, I hate to be judging based on points alone, but man, 70 points on the team, not exactly where you want to be in Challenger. You know, there just didn't seem to be too much presence from too many people. I saw some passing plays go unanswered by a couple of players. Fort, he was trying to get some plays out mid, but the team just wasn't there in a cohesive, fashion to really pose any type of threat against Raptors. Against Raptors, you need a lot of pressure and you need a lot of coordination because they will pick you apart otherwise.
Absolutely. And Jeff, we are kind of being a little hard. But it is only week 1. They're still figuring things out. But that being said, this Raptors team on the flip side is looking like they're in mid-season form. It's looking like they've had a few scrims under their belt, and at least from the looks of it, it looks like they figured out where their strengths are.
Yeah, indeed. The Raptors are really solid showcasing from an entirely new roster. It looks like they're just really gelling well with each other, and they've just seemed to keep that same energy. But Hypnotic right here is going to get a sneaky dunk on the defender.
And Jeff, I think that's the first lead of the series for the Bishops. What a way to start game 3. And, not a second too late. If Bishops want to have the comeback, they need a great showing here. They can't just win this game, Jeff. They need to blow out the Raptors, I feel like, in order to steal the momentum away.
Yeah, they absolutely need to just find something that's going to really shake what the Raptors have been hitting the Bishops with. They need to find something where it's like, okay, yeah, we're dominating. Because sometimes I feel like, Jaegers, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my experience playing a game, sometimes when you start dominating a team, right, you either slow down, you're like, okay, I've got a 3-goal, I've got a 4-goal lead, we've got a 2-game lead, so we can kind of chill out a little bit. And then sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh, I've relaxed too much now they're gaining momentum and I can't catch back up to them. That, I feel like, is what Bishops need. They need to find a way to outpace Raptors and really just catch them slacking, because they're like, okay, we got a 2-game lead, we can chill out a little bit, and then just get caught completely off guard, and that might be what Bishops need.
They really need to find a way to get into the Raptors' heads. Like, they just need to start scoring them. They need to demo them. They need to tilt them. They need to do whatever they can to get in their heads, get that offense going. And so far in this game 3, it looks like they're doing it. It's looking like an entirely different Bishops team. It really just looks like they woke up.
And right there, a shot off the goalpost. Unfortunate, as Levy was trying to slot that one in, but Megalodon, he was pretty close. Hard to say whether he would have saved it or not, but I am liking the pressure, Jaegers. They are challenging, they are taking shots, and not just like small, slow shots, like really good, a lot of power behind them. So those are the type of shots that are really threatening to a defense, and I'm loving the position They're a little bit closer to each other. They're not so close where they're caught off guard, you know what I'm saying? But they're definitely passing to each other, and they're playing more so as a team than I've seen before in previous matchups.
And it's working really well because I don't know if you noticed this, Jeff, but the Raptors are starting to double commit. They're overthinking. They're trying to hit the ball because the Bishops are definitely in their heads right now.
Oof.
Except SS Megalodon is just gonna put it right where he needs it, and quite possibly stole the momentum back.
I don't know if Fort Goomba'd Levy there. I think he did.
No.
I think it was an unfortunate Goomba stomp by his own teammate Fort, trying to come across the back wall. I think just absolutely squashed Levy from saving that. I'm not entirely sure. We need an official replay to get that, but that's what I saw, and that's an unfortunate turn of events right there, especially when you had such a strong presence to just kind of miscommunicate on your own defense and give away a free point, and almost two, but luckily Fort coming in clutch for his team, getting a save, and a good clear from Hypnotic leaves Boxel a little bit awkward. He gets some help from Blah as he clears this one to the midfield. Hypnotic waiting in the corner with no boost, trying to get a second dunk. Oh my gosh, the ball dangerously close in the corner, Jaegers, but somehow the Bishops are able to keep it out of their net.
And the Bishops need to be careful because they're reverting back to their game 1 and 2 selves. It's looking like the Raptors offense is picking up momentum. They need a good clear. They need to get out of their half. They need to put some shots on target because they haven't had a shot on target since the 3rd minute, Jeff. They need to find a way to get that pressure back.
They definitely need to get this ball off their side of the field. The more that I see them stuck on their red side of the field, the more I realize that they're breaking down, and the more that the Raptors are coming alive. Perhaps Fort can get this one out, but the demo from Megalodon opens up an opportunity. Top left corner comes off the crossbar. So close. And I think you could just feel Bishops just like, oh no, we might lose this, but they hold on. Not too much time left.
No.
And Blah ends up whiffing out. What is happening? This ball is just stuck in front of the net. I've seen double commit, but somehow this ball has managed to stay out of the back of the Bishop's net. Jaegers, I don't know how much more suspense I can take of this.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, the Raptors are just hitting the ball everywhere except the back of the net. They're taking shots and then they keep hitting the crossbar, and the Bishops are doing well, but they need to get out of their half. 20 seconds left. They need to find some magic to pull this series back.
Indeed, that was a strong clear from the Raptors that almost turned into a goal, but some fortunate events happened for Bishops, and it was not able to be scored, so this game might be going into overtime. And I think we failed to mention, Jaegers, that this is like match point. Raptors are sitting on match point right now, and so this is do or die for Bishops. They definitely don't want to have a repeat of what happened in the grand finals before. They want to try to come back and showcase that they can stand up against this Raptors team, an all-new Raptors team be it. But right now, if things don't change, the Raptors could very well just take advantage of them so quickly because of the pressure that they've just been putting on for the last couple minutes in this game.
And Jeff, it's a new Raptors team, but I mean, that offense looks as potent as ever. They just keep putting shots on target. And although they were outshot in the first 4 minutes of that game, the Raptors managed to come back, and now they're leading the shot total. It just shows how dominant this Raptors offense can be whenever they're firing on all cylinders. And it looks like Boxel just going to put it in the back of the net. The sweep is complete. The Bishops had a valiant effort, but they couldn't bring it back.
Oh, man, I don't know if you're paying attention. The speed from Boxel, the transition. Unfortunately, there was a poor touch from Hypnotic off of a pass, and he tipped it to the sidewall, and I think Fort thought he was going to be able to come up the side, but Boxel transitioned so quick from the side, came off, launched that one down to net, and Fort just wasn't able to get there. A strong matchup indeed, but unfortunately, Jaegers, Bishops weren't able to get a win, so they're going to get swept in game number 1. Not exactly what you want to be if you're the Bishops, but hey, there's plenty of games more in Nemesis. That it's just first game, probably nerves or something. They had a pretty strong showing up against Raptors, but at the end of the day, Raptors was just more solid of a team.
Absolutely, and if you lost tonight, just think about it. Ignite lost their first 8 games of their season, came back, won it all. So it's like even if your team didn't perform, even if they didn't do great, you could still come back and finish the season strong. So I mean, the Bishops, like the way they play, they do have some things to shore up, but I have no doubts they're going to be able to come back and have a strong season.
Indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for tonight's stream on Nemesis. What a way to end it, with both grand finals having the same outcome that they had before in season number 7. Definitely come back and join us on Wednesday when we're gonna have more Rocket League content for you all to watch. But until then, it's been a pleasure, Jaegers. Thank you so much for casting with me tonight, and I will catch you all in the next one.
See ya.